Thank you for tuning into this video where I will talk about the Minolta X700, my very first SLR camera, and I will try to outline why I chose this model at my beginner level. The photos I will be showing you in this video have been taken with the Minolta X700. All cards on the table, I absolutely love this camera, and I'm super happy with my choice. It's a camera that is great for beginners as well as advanced photographers, because it has all the basic functions you might want without being too overwhelming. Every time I go out with this camera, there's at least one person on the street that stops me, and they are genuinely happy to see it and talk about their great experience with this model. Just last week, I met a photojournalist in his 60s, and he told me that it was also his first SLR. The day I bought it at the secondhand camera store, I had two different salesmen advise me, and they had a very passionate debate about whether I should go with the Minolta X700 or the Canon AE1, which is its contemporary. And I think that if I would have walked away at that moment, they wouldn't even have noticed that's how into the debate they were. Now, even though I love it, I won't be singing praise to the X700 for this entire video, although I would genuinely recommend it to anyone. Like with anything else, it isn't perfect, and I will of course also mention its downsides. It released in Japan in 1981, proudly pioneering the MPS as shown by its logo on the front. MPS stands for Minolta Program System, referring to its automatic program. This program was developed by Minolta to compete with the newly released Canon AE1 program, which is a direct successor to the Canon AE1. At this point in time, the automatic programs became all the hype, and I will talk about this program a little later on in the video. The Minolta X700 is a model that is of course no longer produced. And a reason for its wide availability is that it has been produced for 18 years. This is why you will find a lot of them on the market, and it also accounts for its reasonable price seeing as they are not so rare. In 1981, the Minolta X700 has also received the title of Best Camera of the Year. I will be speaking about it from my point of view, but I've also asked some of my Instagram followers for their input and why they appreciate this model. So the fan favorite feature that comes up over and over again is the camera's aperture priority mode, which is also one of my favorite features because it helped me out a lot as a beginner. At the time, I wasn't very comfortable with camera settings and I didn't dare to go full manual mode. So when you select the aperture priority mode, which is right here, you will then have the freedom of selecting your aperture based on your shot, and the Minolta will in turn select the best shutter speed for the light conditions. This is great because it takes one worry off your mind. You don't have to guess or estimate your shutter speed, and you don't have to meter for light. Personally, most of the time I do shoot in aperture priority mode or full manual. But as mentioned before, its iconic program mode feature is pretty much where you go into full automatic and let the camera make all the decisions for you. The program mode is right here. You will have to set your lens to its smallest possible aperture. For me, it's 16, it's right here, and oftentimes it is indicated in green. At that point, the camera will take care of the rest, and it will automatically select your aperture too, based again on light conditions. The program mode is great, it works just fine, but the reason myself or other photographers don't use it all that often is because I still prefer to adapt my depth of field. So despite this innovative feature, it is not the main reason why a lot of its proud owners love it so much. Most of the time, it is the aperture priority mode which really does put it ahead of its contemporaries. From what I read online, Minolta makes its own glass, and they are very good at it. The contrasts of its lens are truly impeccable. I mainly shoot color film, and I am extremely pleased with it. The shutter speed ranges from 4 seconds to 1/1000th of a second. And a couple cool extra details are the self-timer and the possibility to add a flash. It shows you how many photos you've taken right here, and in case you forgot how many exposures you have, it shows you how far along on your film you are right here. It also has a quiet mode and a regular mode, which adds an extra beep to your shutter, which I have no idea why you would ever want to use, especially if, like me, you are into street photography and you want to go as under the radar as possible. Another amazing feature of the X700 is its viewfinder, and for me as a beginner, it was one of its main selling points. It makes it super easy to focus because what you see in your viewfinder is what you get. On top of that, it has a built-in light meter, which you can see on the right side of your viewfinder, and it shows you the recommended shutter speed for your lighting. No handheld light meter is required. When I shoot in aperture priority mode and the camera sets its shutter speed for me, it still shows me the shutter speed it has selected, which is greatly appreciated. Its light meter generally works great, but it does have one downside, that it meters light across the whole viewfinder. If you're interested in film photography at all, you have heard this a million times, but it is ideal to meter for shadows to get the best possible exposure. So, for example, if you're shooting a very backlit subject, you will want to go fully manual and disregard the suggested shutter speed. At that point, a handheld light meter will really come in handy, unless you already have metering down in your head like a pro. So I also found that the light meter performed exceptionally well during night photography. A couple downsides, if you can really call them that, are the following. Compared to many other cameras in its category, the X700 is not fully metal but has a lot of plastic, which of course is not as sturdy or durable as it could be if it was fully metal. But on the flip side, plastic also means light, so it contributes to it being super portable and comfortable to shoot. Something that could also bring about issues over time is that it is fully electronic. It is battery powered, and even though the battery hasn't died on me yet, I can see this being an issue. Because if the battery is dead, you can't shoot at all. So personally, I carry a couple batteries in my wallet wherever I go, and problem solved. More importantly though, with it being fully electronic, it means it could be more prone to malfunctions, and also more expensive to repair. But I don't believe that this is as dramatic as it may sound, because these cameras really have stood the test of time, and they really don't tend to malfunction very often. As per many reviews that I've read online, some people have had this camera for 20 plus years, and they are still in mint condition. No glitches, no nothing. I got mine really cheap because of this tiny little scratch, which does nothing at all to impede its function. It just means that it wasn't in full mint condition. But apart from that, it is like new and it works perfectly. Now, the X700 was mainly made in Japan. However, there are some in circulation which have been made in China or in Thailand. From my research, it appears that the ones made in Japan are the ones that are less prone to any malfunctions and do best over time. So that is the one you might want to go for if you do have the choice. A little pointer that I learned from the camera store manager is that if they are made in China or Thailand, it will say so right here. And if it says nothing, they are the ones from Japan. Now on the practical level, sometimes when I try to focus, I accidentally end up changing aperture. That is because the rings are very close together. But you might argue that this is more of a lens problem than a Minolta X700 problem. But I thought I'd mention it anyway because it has come up a couple times when I've been using it. Speaking of tiny problems with the design, the shutter is extremely sensitive, so you might want to be careful with that. Why am I saying this? It's because this camera has a really great feature. If you don't mess with it for a moment, it goes into battery saving mode. That is awesome to save your battery. However, when you do put it to your eye after a little while, the light meter in your viewfinder will be off. To reactivate it, you have to very gently press the shutter, and this is where the sensitive shutter comes into play. I have shot more than one accidental photo when I was just trying to check the light meter. Overall, the X700 is very straightforward. It has all the basic functions you could want, but nothing extra fancy which would confuse a beginner. It functions very smoothly and is super reliable. You will definitely enjoy its crisp and ergonomic design, and you will absolutely get a bang for your buck. On top of that, the aperture priority mode really is a game changer. I couldn't recommend this camera more. So I hope I didn't forget anything too important, and let me know in the comments if you have shot the Minolta X700 before, and if you've enjoyed it or not. I definitely want to know if you've had a similar experience to mine. And please like this video if it was useful to you, and please subscribe to my channel if you're interested in other film photography related content. I really appreciate all of you watching this video and interacting with me. It really means a lot. And for now, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.